Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our Eastleigh save. Before we jump into our new season, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this as I get the hair off my microphone. So we've had an interesting summer. Little signings, just due to the fact that we're still trying to get that wage budget down to in our wage budget. Because of the reduction from last year. We've got it down to 10,000. That's still 10,000 over budget, so we've got work to do. We have brought in money, so we're finance-wise. They got a £10 million loan to level things off. That took us to kind of, I think, 2 million in positive, and then we sold players to get to that 15 million. They haven't given us any wage budget from that, and obviously that meant we haven't been able to add anything to transfer budget or wage budget, I should say. What I may do is request that we increase the wage budget and transfer budget, because I mean, I guess either's absolutely fine to request. Not necessarily use it, but just try and level it out so it just looks a bit nicer. But if we look at our transfers and how things have gone so far, so at the end of last season, it was a case that unfortunately, Boniek, our top goal scorer, as kind of expected, did leave the club. He's joined Watford for £8.5 million. Now, with that, we were offered him to come back to us, which is something we absolutely said yes to. Not having to pay any of his wages or anything like that. He gets to come straight back to us, stay with us for the season, which is just what we want, which is great for us, that's for sure. We have also managed to keep hold of the likes of Stepe and Tyne, which has worked brilliantly for us. They've stayed on loan again for another season. I was able to get the wages down enough to think it was worthwhile, especially considering Boniek's gone. It means that's freed up a bit more wages. We've also sold the likes of Nadolny to Swansea. Unfortunately, there were a few clubs in for him, and a couple of them were going to loan him back to us. Swansea didn't want to do that. It's a bit frustrating because he is in our league. Well, no, they just got promoted, but they've only just got promoted. So I'm guessing he'll be playing first team football for him, which is understandable. We've also sold Brian Malcolm, who's one of the young players that we brought in a little while ago. Hasn't played for us at all from Arsenal. I don't think he would have fit in, and with £2,000 wages, I just thought it was worth moving him on. 2.5 million as well for him was great. Zapata wanted to leave, so I wasn't going to stop him. He's gone to Millwall for 2.1 million. Moses Okong is another one who's gone to Middlesbrough. He's another player that came in from one of the better teams' youth academies in Man City, and he's gone off to Middlesbrough for a good 600,000. Two players have been sold to Rotherham. Callum Connolly has left us. He's getting to the stage now where he's getting on a bit, and I wanted to get some money for him before he just leaves. And Dennis Akurugu, another player that wasn't going to get enough game time for us, as we've got plenty of players who can play in his positions. So he's been moved on. Then we've got Robert Hughes, one of the players through our academy, has gone to Salford. Again, not quite the standard we needed, so he's gone for 17,000. And then we were aware that Huertas was leaving. And there's also a few more loans agreed as well for some of our younger players there. So you've got Blanchard, Petterson, Montano, McCormack, Colbran and Kingsley all going out on loan. We saw that Carlos Garcia was joining us at the end of last season. We'd already arranged that transfer. He's come in for a whopping 8.5 million. He's been very good for us in pre-season. He's looked solid. Very good as an advance forward, some lovely acceleration and pace, some good technique, determination, and his finishing can improve. He's only 18, so he's got plenty of room to grow. And again, this is probably for a fringe player as well. Again, a player that to be honest, expect to probably go at the end of the season if we don't get promoted. In his contract, he doesn't actually have a buyout clause, which is good because it means that we won't necessarily have to sell him, but we'll have to see. There was only one other player I was able to persuade the board to sign. Now, this is Tom Lang. He's from Ross County. He was come to the end. Well, he was a youth player, so we had to pay £700,000 in fees to get him over in compensation. Now, I think he looks very good for a 16-year-old. He's only small, so he's 5'5" and left-footed on the right-hand side. So the sort of player that we want as an inside forward. Some great dribbling, finishing and first touch. Some long shots, passing, technique, all very good. And some good physicals and mentals as well across the board. So a player that could be very, very good. He's only 16 years old, so I'm going to ease him in this season. He will play a lot, but hopefully ease him in a little bit. And then once the loan players leave at the end of the year, we've got someone to step right in there, no problem at all. But if anything, he could probably fight to overtake them, which I wouldn't be too upset about. £150 wages at the moment. Obviously, he will be offered a professional deal with everything that comes through with that. £2,500 a week wages when that hits at the end of next year. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We are also in our new stadium. It is it's called Eastleigh Stadium. Very inventive, I know. Capacity of 16,000, which is good. We were hitting the top end of our stadium. We've obviously played a few friendlies in it, but this is our first competitive game today in the stadium. Built in 2030, ready for the season. We've got Fulham today, so it's going to be a big game. It's going to be tough. We've done very well in pre-season. We've managed to work through. We've got a big squad, which I guess is pretty good. Or at least I'm happy with a big squad, considering of what we've got, how we play, that sort of thing. So looking pretty decent. We've got, because of our fullback leaving at the end of last season, we have got Sukalo back. He's come back from his loan away. Belarusian, played 34 times for the international team. Hopefully can slot right in there and kind of fill that role. It'll be tough to do quite as well. We've also got Marcotta as well, who's probably a little bit better actually. Thinking about it, so we might have to look at maybe swapping him in and out. Actually, that's what we'll do now. I don't know why I've got Sokota playing. Makoto I think is just better. But yeah, so Carlo is maybe a little bit more attacking. But against Fulham, I think we're good to kind of be a bit more defensive. Otherwise, we've got Tyne and Stepe either side. Garcia's up top with Ortega behind him. Ben Elliott and Thomas Hill in the middle. Magoma, Sutherland, Ramsey and Okonkwo at the back. So a very, very similar side. We've also got the likes of Mauricio Garcia, who's the young player that has been brought in. He's 18 years old, and I think hopefully could develop quite nicely as well. Already made an appearance with the under-21s for Mexico, and I'm hoping that continues. And then obviously Aiden as well, only 20 and developing very, very nicely. So he hopefully should be able to slot in for Ben Elliott if he does actually leave this season. He's unfortunately wanting to leave if a bid comes in of 10 million. I don't think there will be a bid of 10 million, but we'll have to see. So let's jump into it. Tom Lang, you get the number 9 shirt. No pressure, but that's a big number to give a 16-year-old. But let's jump into the game. Like I say, first game, competitive game at Eastleigh Stadium, our new stadium. Hopefully this will be the season we get promoted, and it will just work so beautifully, won't it, with it all. But we'll have to take a look. We have got Wolves in our league now as well, which is something to note. The strange thing is that it looks like they're in European competition as well. Magoma with the header. Oh, it's just over the bar. We'd worked that quite well. They're in, European competition as well. They're predicted to come top of the division, which you'd probably expect if they're in Europe as well, it's one of those weird things that can sometimes happen in Football Manager when teams get relegated, but have also won something to allow them to go into Europe. I think it happened to Portsmouth one year when they won the FA Cup. But with that said, we're predicted to come 15th, which is very, very good. I think it's the highest we've been predicted so far, so that's great. Ball in. Garcia with the header. There it is. Carlos Garcia with his first competitive goal for Eastleigh. Zvonimir Marcotta with the cross. Good job we brought him on, wasn't it? Playing on that left-hand side at left-back. But Yeah, like I say, it's very, very positive this year. I'm feeling more and more. The fact that we only just missed out on playoffs last year gives me so much more confidence this year. Marcotta with the ball in. Having Garcia up top as well is fantastic. And it just gives us that extra man to kind of affect games. But it will be tough, obviously. There's still West Ham. There's still the likes of Wolves and Burnley all fighting for it, along with Crystal Palace. So there's a lot of that. With half an hour gone now, though, it's looking pretty comfortable for us, to be honest. They've had a strike on goal, but it's not really troubled Okonkwo, and it's given us plenty of confidence to keep playing well, moving the ball around quite nicely. We've retained possession really well. We've had a good few shots on goal as well. It would be nice to get a few more on target, but otherwise, I'm very happy with how things are going. Start of the season, you can't complain too much. We do have Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup. Not really expecting to go too far in that. I'm not bothered. I just want to do well in the league. If we can get to the playoffs this season, that would be great. Ortega receiving it quite deep, looking for Stepe, but it is cut out. And now Fulham's going to look to come forward. Beard with a great touch to get past the defender. Does end up skying it over the bar, so no real trouble for us in the end. But it's a warning sign. We can't be lackadaisical with our passes. We've got to make them count still, even if we are one up. I've just seen at West Ham... in the West Ham game, Bell scored 2 goals and got sent off in the first half. What a time he's had in the first 45 minutes. He's had enough and gone home. But with that said, it will be half-time for us here. We are absolutely dominating so far, which is great. No one's really had an awful game. Tyne's not been fantastic. So, in fact, what I'll do is a perfect time to bring Tom Lang on for his debut for the club. He's only young, 16 years old is still kind of ridiculous, really. The fact that he's playing for us in the Championship, but he could be extremely good. He's already scored in a friendly pre-season, so hopefully that will continue into this season, and he can actually get a few goals for us. It would be nice to get a win at home as well. First game of the season in our new ground. It all would work out lovely, but we've got time to still go where things could end up not going our way, but we're looking pretty comfortable for now, so I'm not too concerned. So with 20 minutes to go, I think what we'll do is bring Stepe off. Conway will come on. Bakken is one of the players that has come back from loan, and I thought he's done some bits, so he's in the squad. We've obviously also got Mauricio Garcia on the bench, so I might look to bring him on in a minute for Ortega if things stay how they are. But yeah, we've got Stepe coming off, Conway coming on, who was very good at the end of last season, and hopefully that continues again into this season. Short goal kick, though, looks like it'll be the case for Okonkwo. Plays to Sutherland, who's going to drive forward a bit before looking for a pass. Lang receiving it into Ramsey, looking to go into that gap on that overlap. Ortega, Lang looking for short passes rather than pushing it too much. Lang, though, with a bit of pace, looking to get away from his man. Plays it back to Hill, back to Ramsey, then up to Lang again. Can he get a turn on? Not quite. Ramsey into Elliott. We're keeping the ball very nicely, which is good. Sutherland into Ortega. He's lost the ball there, and he's done that a couple of times, even from what we've seen. So it might be time for him to come off in a minute. But Sutherland's managed to cut out the long ball forward, playing it into Hill, into Lang, who's looked for a switch over to Conway, using his pace to get onto the end of that. He cuts it back. Ortega. It's blocked. Garcia with the shot, and it's blocked again, then cleared by Ogbonna, only for Magoma to receive it. They got a bit lucky there. I think Ortega probably should have put away the first effort. So not because of that, but we will take him off, bring on Mauricio Garcia, bring one of our other youngsters on for the last 10 minutes of the game. See if he can create something in that middle part of the pitch. As we are so dominant, it'll be good to get him on the ball and see what he can do. But with the clock ticking down, could be a great start to the season. But Fulham do have a corner. Guest with the ball in. It's headed clear by Magoma. Now Garcia, can you get onto the end of this and turn? He does. He's got to drive forward now. It's a good challenge, but it will only come to Lang, who looks inside to Garcia. Then Garcia runs forward with a long-range effort. Mauricio Garcia, what a lovely strike. An unbelievable goal. That is absolutely great. It's a great move to get us that goal. It was Garcia to Garcia for that one as well. Carlos Garcia was initially tackled by O'Shea. Lang played in Garcia again, only for it to be played through to Mauricio, whose long-range effort was beautifully curved around the keeper, making it 2-0. And that is surely it now. No real concerns going into the final 2 or 3 minutes of the game plus added time. What a goal. You can't complain at all for that. Conway gets the throw in, headed down. Elliott, Hill, Marcotta, then Garcia again. He's not going to strike another one because he lays it off to Marcotta, who's again going to get challenged by Prieto, but he does well to get away from that. Lang's up, nods it down to Hill, who volleys well over the bar and well wide. I mean, that would have been a goal as well. Quite the strike that could have been. But look at the dominance we've had in this game. Fulham are a good side as well, so it's good to see us pretty dominant in our home games so far. I say our one home game so far. Garcia, though, looks to play in Hill, who's through on goal. He's 1-on-1 with the keeper. Can he finish? He doesn't. He just smashes it over the bar. I mean, all composure went for him there as he just tried to hit it as hard as he could, which, I mean, he did do, but it went miles over the bar without any sort of consideration for any of the fans behind the goal. A long ball forward by the keeper just came straight to us, and we were able to work things again. Okonkwo looks long this time, but it only comes to the Fulham centre halves. A switch of play, possibly not quite causing problems that they were hoping, as we deal with that comfortably. And there it is. It is a 2-0 victory. Garcia getting a goal and an assist, influential in both goals, with Mauricio Garcia coming on to get his first goal, and Marcotta with the assist for the first goal in the game. So ultimately, a very, very good win. What a start to the season. Hopefully that continues throughout now, and we can keep this kind of run going from last season. You can see here, clubs are coming in for Ben Elliott, but like I say, if he's happy to go for 10 mil, I'm not going to offer him 10 mil, but if they come in for it, we'll stick to what we said. Garcia scores on debut. He's been great. Both Garcias, to be fair, have scored on their professional debut, so that's good to see. Boniek is coming back from an injury, so he should be able to hopefully play in the upcoming games, which will be good because we've got the likes of Tyne, Stepe and Boniek all looking very, very good for the side. Obviously, they're not our players, so we might look to try and bring other people in. Stefancic also wants to leave, so we might be allowing him to go at some point, just because we've got so many players in those attacking positions now. And it will also help with the wage bill, as he's on £3,600, which is quite a lot for a player of his quality, I have to say. We've got a few centre-halves as well that we might look to move around. Mbayo being one of them. I don't know whether we'll keep him, move him on, what's going to happen. He is only seen to be a central defender for League One in the future, so we might have to look to try and ship him on, let's say, especially with a few more players that we've got here that are looking pretty good. But with that, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like. Let me know what you think how we're gonna do this season, and what you think of the two Garcias doing very well. It'd be nice to get a little partnership up top with them. But thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.